Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fanfiction it inspires. I'm Kasey.
I'm Sandra, and we're lucky enough to be joined by a fantastic author who uses their voice to bring even more nuance and depth to their work. Bug, known as quietwingsinthesky on Tumblr, has posted over 1,400 works on AO3. A writer and a podficker, their fandom's list is pages long. However, Supernatural is at the peak of their inspiration pinnacle with almost 600 creations, with tags like non-con, graphic depictions of violence, major character death, and creator chose not to use archive warnings. Well, they ain't tiptoeing through anyone's tulips. They're prolific, poetic, and anything but quiet. We're looking forward to a chat about the method behind their steamroller of stories. Many thanks for joining us, and welcome to the podcast, Bug.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
And
Thank you for joining
thank
us.
you for having me.
Oh my good lord, that's so many words. In case it wasn't clear, I don't prep before these episodes, so what Sandra says in the intro, I'm like, holy shit, really? Wow. That's so many, good lord. Sorry, Karen.
We've done this for a few years now, and we typically started out when we were doing interviews with creators, it was mainly fanfic authors. And then we started to reach out to fan artists. And then because I podfic, I was like, well, I want to talk to other podfickers as well. And you're actually our second podficker that we've interviewed. So I'm very excited about this. But when I was looking into, like when I found you and I was like, okay. And then I started looking, I was like, whoa, 1,400 works. So fandom, your list, like just, it goes on and on and on. What fandom like first got its claws in you?
In terms of fan fiction writing, it's Supernatural. But in terms of what I think of as my first fandom experience, it was actually, it was the My Little Pony fandom back in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite My Little Pony?
Yeah.
Okay. If you'd like to share,
God.
if not, don't worry.
Yeah, this is an absolute judgment and shame-free space, but if you don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine as well. I'm very ignorant on the subject, so I'm happy to be educated.
I think I like Rainbow Dash, so you
okay.
know. Yeah.
Is that a little like Rainbow Bright? Because I'm like from Rainbow Bright days, so I'm assuming it's kind of got a little bit of a Rainbow Bright feel to the pony.
It's the blue tomboy pony who does races and.
I think I vaguely remember that. Let me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Dash.
So that was your first like fandom, like really like hardcore, like getting into a fandom was My Little Pony.
Yeah, I was back in like, I want to say 6th grade or something. So it's 2014-ish. And I had way too much time on the internet. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff being made around these ponies. This must be good. The show is good. And a lot of the work in the fandom was really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also pre-transition me was very fixated on the fact that I could call myself a brony. I'm sure that didn't mean anything.
Oh my goodness.
I looked it up. I am familiar with that little, like, I don't know the story or anything, but I am familiar with that pony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear, Kasey? 6th grade in 2014. Did you catch that part?
No, I caught it. I did catch it. And then what I did was my brain went glossing over that completely. 6th grade in 2014. Oh, I fucking was a child in 2014. And not like a... Oh, God, I'm so old. Oh, God, I'm so old.
Oh, my goodness. And then after My Little Pony, were there other... I mean, because again, the list is very long. Did that just kind of like open the floodgates for you into like fandoms in general and just like started to explore more of those? Or like what happened like right after the My Little Pony phase? Or did that last a while?
It lasted a while, and it was really the only fandom I wasn't making anything, but I was like online. I saw the drama and the big fix being created and a lot of stuff. And after that, most of my fandom stuff was sort of on the edges until around 2019, 2020. when I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to be a part of supernatural fandom for real now.
One of the things that you mentioned in I think it's in your Tumblr profile was that you describe yourself as like a serial multi-shipper.
I love that.
Your ship to ship journey, like, what was that like? And why can't you stop? Or have you stopped? Has that calmed down a little bit?
I tend to think of it as I can pretty much be convinced with anything. There's a very short list of ships that I can't find myself getting into for one reason or another. And it's very short. It's like I can think of 4 or 5 maybe. And anything else, if someone's passionate about it, or if someone writes a fic about it that I find interesting, or if I just find I want a personal challenge and I want to see if I can make something out of it, I will find myself there.
So, I mean, are you someone too, like, if you don't know anything about a fandom and you just like, do you read stuff outside of your fandom comfort zone, or do you tend to just stick with, like, I'll read whatever I find interesting within a fandom?
I mean, I don't really read outside of fandoms that I'm not in. And in fandoms that I'm in, I have my own preferences. It's more stuff that I'm like, I'm going to avoid this. I don't really like this. And then everything else I'm willing to give a try.
Gotcha. We are a podcast about supernatural. So when did you get into supernatural? When did all of that happen?
That's the funny one. Partly because I have a bad memory, but I can't remember a time when I wasn't watching Supernatural. Because it has been on the air since I was like 3. But
Stop it!
I love the psychic damage I can do with that. It's great. So
I was nearly just in high school when Supernatural first aired, and like I feel like, oh my lord, carry on.
So I didn't start watching it like straight through. It was mostly just what I caught on the TV, and I was like, wow, that's interesting, and then didn't think about it again because I was a child.
Yep.
And then around high school, I finally started watching through it officially, and caught up to where it was airing live.
Okay.
I've seen 99% of it.
Oh, did you not finish? Are you not done?
I think the one episode I didn't watch, there were 2 episodes I didn't watch live in the last few seasons. And it was the very last episode I didn't watch live. And my friend texted me the entire journey that she went through watching it. And as she did that, I felt like a weight come off of me. I was like, I don't need to watch this ever. I'm good. I'm done.
Yep. Yep. Isn't it weird that like 15 ended on 19 episodes? I feel like that's a weird number. You think it'd be like 15 or 20? But, you know, I mean, it ends with that beautiful montage and they drive off into the sunset and then nothing else happens.
Clearly, it's intentional. They got rid of Chuck and now we don't get to see how the story ends. And it's meaningful and deep.
Yep.
Meaningful and deep. Yeah.
Professional opinion on it. And it's nice. It's like, and they ride off into the sunset and you can just paint your own ending on that. You can just be like, whatever happens, happens. Do they keep hunting? Maybe. Do they retire? Maybe. But it's nice. It's open. I approve.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I mean, to have somebody that, I mean, did you kind of like, were you hesitant because you're like, I don't even know if I want to know, or you just, because you got the play-by-play, like, did that just give you then, I'm just not going to watch? Or were you kind of like, I don't even know if I should to begin with, like to watch the final?
I think I was genuinely, I think I was just busy that day. And she's my best friend. We've always been friends. So she'd been texting me her reactions to every episode live.
Okay.
Which was very fun that season.
Oh God, yeah.
So I just let her take over that.
Now, did you kind of start watching Supernatural together with your best? Like, did one person influence the other when it came to that? Or did you kind of just start, did you mention it to her? Did she mention it to you? Do you remember?
I like to think of myself as the meteor that crashed into our 8th grade class and sucked everyone down. I started watching it, and then my friends started watching it, and then soon the entire class was watching
Oh,
it,
nice.
which
Oh,
was very
wow.
interesting.
Yeah. So were you like giving everybody like oh my gosh, this show? Like were you just giving everyone the play-by-play in the 8th grade? Like how did you do that to a whole class?
It turns out that this show is like catnip to teenagers because of all the angst and the sad and the gay the gay subtext that they can pick up on.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, this is this is that generation's like My Chemical Romance and like scene kid emo, where you're like, oh my god, the band members are totally fucking. We even had an incest ship, so you know.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I feel so old. Jensen would be horrified.
Kasey, I have an idea about your question, but I still don't know for sure. So do you want to ask? Do you want to ask your question?
I have no ideas. I do want to ask my question. I have no
Okay.
ideas. You're a closed book to me, Bug. So if you can, and if you can't, it's totally cool if you consider yourself a buy it, bro, or whatever. But out of the brothers, do you find yourself drawn to one brother or another as your like blorbo? Or are you both? Or is your blorbo someone totally different? I have a notes column. I will put that in there.
I mean, of the brothers, it's Sam. It's Sam.
Yes.
I like Dean. It's just a different kind of enjoyment for both of them, I think.
Yeah, I get that. This is getting tense, y'all. 22 to 24.
Oh, good. We're getting close.
Oh,
Like, what is it about Sam that kind of like tips the scales in his favor a little bit for you?
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of his story arcs having to revolve around autonomy, and his entire lack of it was just very interesting to me, both as like just in general and as a writer to get to play with it.
Yeah, I've noticed you have a lot of Sam / Lucifer in a lot of your stuff. Does the autonomy kind of play into that a lot for you when you're okay? Yeah. So then, like, overall thoughts on the show, since the angst was full on 8th grade, like as you kept going through it, were there certain like seasons or storylines that kind of really resonated with you? What did you particularly like? Could you have like been like, I'm kind of done with this. I don't think I really want to deal with, like, were there any dips, I guess, too? Like, we're like, oh, this is great. Oh, I can't believe they did this, which it's a roller coaster ride anyway with this show. So,
Yeah. So I have watched through all of it at least once, but in my attempts to rewatch it many times, I always find myself, by the time I get to season 11, I'm like, but do I have to keep going? Do I have to? And I know what the stumbling block is for me. It's that I don't like Casper and I don't like those scenes and I don't want to watch them. And if I want to get on to like season, well, I don't like season 12, but like, season 13 or 14, so I could see Jack. I have to get through all of that, and I don't want to.
what is it about Casper that you don't? Because like I thought Misha's portrayal of Casper was really good, so hit me. I want to know.
I think it's a combination of both. I didn't really like his portrayal that much, and also at that point, the writing for Lucifer is questionable. It's they made choices.
Yeah, decisions were made.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best ones, but decisions were made. Yeah, no, I can see that. I think it's because I think Casper's funny, so I'm like, I can watch it because I think he's funny, and also like I do really like watching actors who have actors of a character who have established a character and then play a different established character. I like watching how you can see that they've pulled, the mannerisms. Like obviously Jared is a great example. He's been possessed by fucking everybody. Bless him. Poor Sam. But like watching like Meg Sam and Samifer and other Gadriel and stuff like that. And I like watching sort of the actors do that. But yeah, if you didn't think Casper was funny, I can see why you're just like, yeah, I get it.
Because talking about Lucifer, because I mean, there, like you said, decisions were made with that character. And I think maybe what some shows tend to suffer, they bring it on themselves, I think, when they've been around for so long, is a lot of the characters become caricatures almost like of themselves in a way. And I think Lucifer went hard in like doing almost a 180. So when you first, I mean, I'm guessing, do you like love hate Lucifer, or do you love Lucifer as a character? Like when he first showed up in the first few seasons where he like debuted, I think it was like what, season 5? Yeah.
Yeah, season 5.
Mm-hmm. So did you love him, or did you love hate him?
In season 5, I love him. He's one of my favorite characters in season 5. I think they did a lot of work to make him a lot more complex than they had to. And I appreciate that. It was a very interesting portrayal. And I don't hate the later seasons version of him either. It's just a very different sort of taste. Yeah, he's funny now. A lot of the complexity has been sheared off, but he's funny now.
Mm-hmm. So when you saw him like in the cage in season 11, were you like, yes? And then were you like, oh, like
I think because there was a fan theory around that time that I remember reading at the time that Hallucifer was not Lucifer, the actual Lucifer himself, or any portrayal of him, but instead Sam's own reflection of his own like self-harming tendencies. And there was, I think for a moment there were people who were like, all right, we're going to get the real Lucifer back, and there's going to be an interesting contrast against how Sam perceived him versus how Lucifer actually acts as we remember him in season 5. And then that didn't happen. But you know, it was interesting to think about for a minute.
That's an interesting, I like that season 7 Hallucifer being a Sam.
And I still believe that on some level that like Hallucifer he is Sam's self-harming tendency. He is like Sam's worst parts of himself, in the same way that like when he goes into his own head and sees soulless Sam and the Sam from the cage, those are both parts of him that he has to come to terms with. Yeah, Hallucifer is his intrusive thoughts. You know,
I do like that as a concept.
And I do. I think the season 7 whole Hallucifer thing, I think, is really, really interesting to like really like dig into and unpack a little bit, because it makes you, you know, like the whole, like, you know, you're seeing him right now, like, what are you seeing? And makes you like question, like, what is and what isn't. And then I think season 11 was very interesting too, because like just bringing it in, like the whole questioning, like, what is he seeing? He's thinking, these are signs from God, and then it ends up not being that to begin with. So poor Sam, he goes through an awful lot.
But he looks so pretty when he's doing it.
Yeah. Do you also enjoy that also, Bug? Because a lot of people do.
Season 7, and he's so, when he's in the hospital and he's in these little soft clothes and he's like, I'm so tired. I love him so much. He suffers so well. It's not my fault. He should suffer less beautifully. Yeah, but like he's beautiful about it.
He is beautiful.
Sorry. Don't let me haul us off track.
Do you have a favorite season of Sam? Because Kasey does.
And why is it 8 and or 6? It depends on personality versus hair. Do you have a favorite season of Sam personality and a favorite season of Sam hair?
I mean, favorite season of Sam hair. I like the season 1 and 2 hair. I think it's very cute.
Aww.
It's adorable. And for personality, I like season 5 because he's just off the high of getting to do demon blood crimes, and now he's guilty about everything forever, and no one will let him have a break, and the world is ending, and it's his fault. And then he jumps into hell, and it's great. I love it.
I love that so much. I get so righteously angry on behalf of season 5 Sam. I'm like, everybody is up his ass and everybody is telling him he's weak, and he's such a good person because I would have burned it all to the ground and fucked these people. And he's so genuinely good. Oh.
Yeah, see, now you know the appeal of Lucifer Sam. Why don't we just let him burn it to the ground and he can get a boyfriend out of it too?
I could totally see that. See, the thing is, I have writer friends that will take me to task and whap me viciously with various newspapers if I don't provide a happy ending. So I have to be careful. And then I get left comments like, I hate every bit of this, but I'm so glad you found your voice.
That was me.
One of my friends likes to argue that technically N-verse was a happy ending for Lucifer and Sam in a way. It just wasn't a happy ending for everyone else.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think that's going to hold up in court, but I can see it.
Not.
I don't think I'll end up in trouble.
Do you have other like really favorite characters that kind of came into the show at different times? Or is there anybody that like you really do love, like either writing or like doing podfics about?
I do love all the Archangels, obviously Lucifer, but I think Raphael and Gabriel get to bandy for second place, and then Michael gets to be fourth. Not because I don't like him, but because he's just not there most of the time in my brain.
What about Raphael? Because he's a character you don't really like see a lot of. So what is it about Raphael?
Yeah, and it's a shame to me because I really like him. His introduction in Free to Be You and Me is, I mean, one of the best scenes of all time. It's fantastically acted. And I love how we get that speech and how that contrasts later against Gabriel's same speech. They don't want the apocalypse for these destructive, greedy reasons. It's just they want it to be over. They want all of this suffering and all this conflict to just end, and for there to be some sort of peace that they've been promised. Which, like, we know, having watched the rest of the show, that even if the apocalypse had happened, that wouldn't be there. But they truly, honestly believe this, and that's interesting to me. Yeah,
yeah.
And then with Gabriel, did you, I guess, because we actually just did this might be a Kasey question that might be coming up, but it might probably is going to be related to this episode. But like, what about Gabriel's? Like, did you like Gabriel's introduction as the trickster, and then like the switchover, or was that something like did you jive with that? Was it like whatever? Because some people like that, some people don't like the changeover. Did you like the little like, aha, he's actually an Archangel kind of a situation?
I like it, and looking back, I also like that there's a lot. I suppose I'm presuming, I don't really know, but I think there was no plan to like make him an Archangel or anything in those first two episodes.
Yeah.
So looking back, the fact that a lot of his motivations sort of slide into place is like, oh, this does make sense for Gabriel. This does work for him still. That's really serendipitous. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with like the writers figuring, hey, we've got this great character. We're doing this thing now. Let's bring this in, which I was like, okay, this is taking an opportunity, like you said, and then bringing that character back in and having it still work, not being like the kind of a situation, but, oh yes, this could work. I personally like that they used whatever they started with and then were able to like, cobble something else together that still made sense. So I do like that change and that like aha moment. And then you delve more into his whys, and they still make, they kind of make sense along the way. So it's like, okay, no, I get this. I get why he's doing the thing. Before we get into fanfic, there's a couple questions that I think Kasey usually asks about a particular episode that I think I would be interested in hearing your thoughts on.
Very, very serendipitous that we're discussing Gabriel and the trickster and everything. So, Mystery Spot, the season 3 episode Mystery Spot. Where do you stand on that? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you skip it? Are you ambivalent? Nobody's ever ambivalent, but I thought I'd give you the option.
I love it. It's funny, and also it tortures Sam the entire time. What's better than that?
It's definitely me, Sandra. It's definitely me. I am definitely the problem. We just did a rewatch.
Yeah, my thing is, if
Discord.
you like suffering Sam, I would think, that's right up your alley. Yeah, it makes sense.
No.
No.
Yeah,
we did a rewatch because Kasey has. It was actually like I think it was pretty helpful for Kasey, like to go through it and really talk about why it, really bothers them to an extent. We probably went through more than we had to, but they were a trooper. They were a trooper with that one. But yeah, so the loving it and then the torture. Yeah. What in particular?
I can get on board with it. Yeah, but I'm just like, nope, it's me. I'm weird.
Is there a particularly torturous scene that you truly enjoy in Mystery Spot?
I mean, I really do love the final confrontation with Gabriel, both because of what it gives us in that episode and because of like the later revelation of, oh, this is Gabriel. Is like when he's looking at Sam, he's not really seeing Sam, he's seeing Lucifer. This is him interacting with his brother through his vessel. And when Sam is like, I will do anything to get my brother back, there's got to be a part of Gabriel that's like, man, I wish Lucifer cared more about his brother than ending the world.
Oh,
That's even more torturous.
don't humanize it for me.
Oh, yeah.
I have to rethink my thoughts on that episode, and I'm not ready.
Oh, that's what I love, those when we have conversations with other fans that bring something like totally different, like a total like aha moment. That's like, no, I never thought of it that way before.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's I view the entire show through the lens of, what would the Archangels do about this? Because they like them so much. I'm in a Discord all about them.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Very, very. So, I mean, you would have loved like a spinoff of just the Archangels, right? Like that would have been something you would have enjoyed if they were able to do something like that.
I've seen the Supernatural spinoffs. I don't trust these people. I watched all of the Winchesters. I don't want to go through that again, even for my favorites.
You suffered too. Yeah, we did that too. Yeah, we did that too.
Yeah, familiar with we too have experienced disappointment. So what do you think happens at the end of the episode then? Do you think in those 6 months Sam was still kind of in that like pocket dimension that Gabriel the trickster had put him in, or do you think that he was put back into real time, lived the 6 months, and then was sent back in time?
I think it was probably a pocket dimension, just because we know like Archangels are wild, powerful. Obviously that wasn't planned, but like, I think it was the pocket dimension and then just pull him out of it. But like, for all we know, we don't even know that wasn't just a really intense dream that he had. We know how dreams work in Supernatural. You can get damaged in them,
Ooh,
so
that's interesting. Yeah. Fever dreams. Yeah.
And that would have been way easier to pull off than like actually manipulating reality and all that. But who knows?
Oh, that's interesting. So then on the back of that, do you think that Sam, after it's done and Gabriel puts it back to rights, do you think he remembers those 6 months, or do you think that's erased from his memory?
I never even considered that it could have been erased. I just sort of thought like, oh, that was, I think Gabriel would have left that in him, because that's the sort of the whole point, is that maybe if Sam goes through this once, maybe there'll be something that stops him from going off the deep end. That obviously didn't work and arguably made him worse and more liable to go off the deep end. But there was an attempt.
Do you think Sam shares those 6 months with Dean? Like, what happened?
I think definitely not during like the last few months of Dean's life. He doesn't there. And then they're off speaking terms on season 4. And then in season 5, there's too much going on. And then after that point, I think Sam would have just been like, no, I can't talk about this. It's too much of a burden. And it was so long ago. And I just have to deal with this quietly for the rest of my life and never bring it up.
Oh, that's so very Sam. Noble martyrdom and sacrifice. Oh.
We're going to like swivel into fan fiction. So, and it doesn't have to be supernatural, but when did you like find just fanfic in general? Like, when did you discover it?
It's a funny thing about allowing a child to have random internet access to whatever they want. Live journal's not hard to find. It's not hard to find. And then it's very, very not hard to find all the people who are writing about Sam and Dean doing unbrotherly activities with each other.
That sounds about right. So was it LiveJournal? And then when did you sort of like find Tumblr? Did they kind of go together? Was Tumblr first? Because I know like, your social media stuff.
I think the progression of it is I found LiveJournal, didn't really understand what it was, but did know I could read all the things on there. Then found fanfiction.net, because that's way easier to find if you look up fanfiction.
Right, yes.
And then I made like a first Tumblr account way back when that is now gone, and hopefully no one will ever find it because it's deleted. And then later, around the same time I discovered AO3, I made my second Tumblr account.
And when was AO3 around like 2019, 2020, or was it earlier than that?
I think it was a little earlier than that.
Okay.
I think yeah, like at least a few years earlier than that.
Okay.
I think it was like 2017 when I made my Tumblr account. So it was around that time.
Yeah.
Did you write before you started writing fanfic?
I wrote some original stuff. Most of the writing that I did was fan fiction, which will never be published. Thank God. But I have it saved. It's that saying, like the first million words you write are going to be terrible. And the reason that anything I write now is consumable is because the millions of words of self-insert supernatural fanfic that no one will ever read.
I'm sensing a theme here that no one will ever read this stuff.
Did you ever share this? You didn't share that with anybody, not even like your best bud or anything like that. Just all for you.
Oh, absolutely not. It was very embarrassing.
Okay.
This is a safe space, judgment free.
Yes, absolutely. So 1 million words, huh? I think I'm about halfway through. I think I'm about halfway through there. Have you ever do you have even like a random guess? Because I know you can track your words and stuff on AO3 and stuff, but if you had to put all of your other stuff together with what's on AO3, do you have a sense of how many words you've written?
So when I say 1 million words of the stuff that I was writing in high school, I do genuinely mean that because I have the documents still on a flash drive and I've added it all up.
Wow.
It's a lot of writing.
Wow.
It's very bad, but it's a lot.
No, but everything. So. Yeah, no, but I think just any other skill, you're building on that. And it's the fact that you've had all of that time to, work through figuring out writing style or what you want to convey. I think that's great. I think that's great to have that, to look back on, even if you cringe, right? Because I think it gives you a perspective about where you are today. Yeah. So I think that's great.
You write what you can at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I thought of this question. I'm like, Sandra, you're asking a lot, but how would you describe your writing style? If nobody knew anything about your work, how would you describe your writing style to someone?
I think there's two. I think there's two major things I think about when I'm writing. The first thing is because I am a podficker, a lot of the times when I'm writing, I'm thinking about well, what would this sound like if I was speaking it out loud? And that'll go into word choice or how sentences are structured a lot of the time. Just because I like to think about that, even if I don't end up making a podfic for it. I like hearing the rhythm that I'm creating with my writing.
Almost like a screenplay then.
The other thing is I like to focus on details, I think. That makes stuff feel a lot more real, especially when writing intimate works.
Yeah.
The sensory stuff. Yeah, I was a few of them that I was listening to. It was poetry to me when I was listening to them. I was you could definitely feel that there's a rhythm. You're really focusing on. I feel a structure to it. So I like that one thing, gives you a reason to figure out how you want to say the thing by, if I might podfic this, how do these words work together? And I think, as a writer, I'm sure that's something that you just refined as well over time. It's sometimes less is more, and how to get that down, because I've noticed a lot of your stuff is short. So for me, it feels like you're writing a poem, or if I'm listening to it, in some of them. I think the one that I can't remember the name of it now, but I think it was called Kiss Me. The one with Sam and Dean, and it just has three different moments in their lives, and it's just the way you voiced each one, was a little was different, and it had you could feel the angst that was coming out in all of them. So I thought that was I just thought it was beautiful to listen to, and again, it was just very short but very potent, I guess. Maybe that's a good word, for when I was listening to a lot of your stuff. You talked a little bit about I think autonomy is something that you found interesting, I guess, within Supernatural and maybe Sam's journey. Are there certain themes that you find yourself pursuing a lot when you write?
So yeah, autonomy. A lot of my fics are, about being trans because I'm trans. Even when they're not about characters that are trans, they're still somehow about this. Because inescapably a part of me that I just sort of put into anything I'm writing, that something is going on with like how characters need to change how they're living or how they're interacting with their body or the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can I was thinking about that because you'd mentioned transition earlier on in the conversation. I was thinking that I can see how being drawn to Sam as a character and Sam's journey really plays into that in terms of like taking control of yourself and, you know, sort of the idea of quote unquote destiny versus what you actually want, and kind of, you know, changing the course and like writing your own future, as it were.
Yeah.
Which I think is I'm sure, I don't want to give the writers enough credit, I'm sure nobody was thinking about that in 2005, but I do think it's an easy comparison to draw, and I can really see why, you know, sort of like why you vibe with Sam in that way. And it's not something I'd considered, but I'm like, oh yeah, no, that do track though. Yeah, that's that do track. Yeah.
The experience of being a vessel in supernatural is inherently transgender in some way.
Yeah. Yeah. I can absolutely see that. Yep. Yeah. Nobody come at us on Tumblr. This is not open for discussion.
I think too, like fate versus free will, right? I think that folds in a lot of that as well, especially with I think with Sam too, on his journey on the show. Any other like major? I mean, you are. I mean, the stuff that you write. I mean, you don't hold back on a lot. Like even if it's just a sentence, there's not a lot of holding back on like really like getting your details. I there was the Amara Dean one that I listened to. It was tagged cannibalism, and you know, it's just like I was like, okay. Yeah. So are there other things too, like kind of like time, like do you like digging into the dark stuff too, or do you find that just kind of like has happened? I mean, when you were writing way back, did you feel like you were exploring
Sandra,
a lot?
that's like 8 questions, babe.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Were you like exploring more of did you find yourself exploring more of that stuff when you were older, or how? Sorry, I get excited and the questions all roll out. If you want to pick whichever ones I threw at you, feel free.
I think that the dark topics, especially the supernatural, are sort of like a natural outgrowth of what the show presents us with. Even like a lot of the darker stuff that's just sort of left in the background, like, hey, what did happen to Sam in the cage? Can we talk about that? You know, and sometimes it's just like taking things to the fic with Amara and Dean is they presented us a scenario where she's been eating people's souls, and then when they meet, it's just like she's like normal and she just kisses him and it's normal and not weird. And I was like, no, she should try to eat him.
Yeah, no, that is not a stretch for me in any capacity. But yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Like, I think that. I mean, Supernatural was, of course, hindered by what it could do. And I think sometimes that's better, right? Like it gives the fanfic authors, it gives fans the opportunity to, like you said, play in those shadows that, you know, they can't dig into and not talk about. I think you'd recently reblogged something on Tumblr, which is like, yeah, we're not going to talk about like how Sam had spent so much time in the cage with Lucifer and he wasn't going to end up like, you know, maybe just doing like, what you call it? Like somebody, I think the thing you'd reposted was like Sam Stockholm syndrome or something like that. Like, of course, like, you know, he's going to have this relationship with Lucifer. Actually the member in our Discord, Crowley's mistress, I mean, I could see why she's all about your stuff too, because she's very into the Sam Lucifer dynamic, right? And like really exploring that in a lot of her stuff. So yeah, it's like it's picking that stuff apart and going a little bit further that I think your stuff definitely does in a lot of ways. You've put a lot of stuff together. You've completed a lot of projects. And then I came across this Drabble a Day 2024 series that you did. What was that? And why did you do that to yourself?
So I think it was at the beginning of 2024, I read something that was like, if you're going to make a New Year's resolution, you should make it be something that you actually want to do, that you'll actually enjoy doing. And I was like, I could write 100 words a day. That doesn't sound so hard. I did not manage to write 100 words a day every day, but I did manage to write 100 words for every day in that year. So that counts.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Then, I mean, but it wasn't just, was it just writing? Did you then sometimes like write and podfic your stuff? How did that work for that? Was it just 100 words?
For that, it was just write the 100 words for every day. And now I'm going back, and when I want to make a little tiny bite-sized podfic, I have a wealth to choose from. Awesome.
Was there any point in your journey where you're like, why did I do this? Was this a good idea?
Many times. I was doing a lot that year. I was doing that. There was a span of time between like May to like October where I was also doing like prompts every Sunday. And then I tried to do Archangel week that year too. And there was maybe too much and I got a little overwhelmed, but I did finish all the Drabbles, and that's what matters to me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was, I mean, kudos to you for doing that and getting that done and sticking with it. That was great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Crying thinking about it. Thanks, guys.
You're podficking. What got you into that?
That goes back to the My Little Pony fandom again.
Okay.
They had a thing. They didn't call it podfics because in what I've experienced, the My Little Pony fandom was sort of cut off from the rest of fandom experiences at the time. Okay. So while podfics was developing on one side, on their side, what they had was I think it was audio dramas dramatic readings. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I was listening to back then. And they are fantastically made. Not to show for them, but they are still they are still my inspiration. A lot of those old My Little Pony audio dramas and stuff. Because they would have full voice casts and sound effects and music and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And that's one day I want to do something as cool as that. But after a point, I was like, wait, I could do this too with stuff I like.
And when did you record your first one?
My first one was back in 2016. It is not posted anywhere because I was just making it for myself.
I sense a theme.
I was just about to say I can sense a theme here.
Yeah, there's a solid year or two of me just making podfics for myself.
Oh, nice.
And not posting them. And the first one was a podfic for the Warrior Cats fandom that I remember is third person plural exclusive Us But Not You by Consumptive Sphinx. Which is a lovely
mouthful.
Little fic.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. It's it's very interestingly written, and I did a little recording of that for myself. I think I still have it somewhere, but
so were you just kind of like, let me see what I can do and then go back, try another one, refine, go back? That was your goal? I think maybe like within the first, like, did you ever think you were going to post one, I guess, at that point, or were you just doing it for you?
At that point, because I was very, very shy. I was like, I'm never going to post any of these. I'm never going to be able to ask for permission to post anything ever. And when I eventually did start posting podfics, I think the first ones I did were all stories that were orphaned on AO3. So like, whoever had written them had given up control of them, and you can do what you want with them. So that was helpful.
That is such a good point. I never thought about
That's
that
clever,
about orphaned works. Yeah, I'm writing that down for future reference for me. Orphaned works, check those out and see. When did you post one? When did you get the I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to try? I mean, was it anxiety ridden? Talk about the process.
Definitely anxiety ridden. Because I was posting my voice online and I didn't know if anyone was going to listen to anything, but I wanted to start posting things on AO3. I wanted to make things and show them to people. I think it was a Game of Thrones podfic.
Okay.
That one I don't know if I remember the name of, but I do remember it was Theon Sansa or something.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I went back and remade it, so no one has to listen to that first. Yeah.
So was it a long fic? Did you end up did you work on it for a really long time before you finally just released it into the wild? Like for that one, was it short? Can you give a little more detail
No, I think
about
it's
that
I think it's 3 minutes long. Or
okay.
The original was probably longer because I was not as good at editing or reading stuff. It was a very short little fic, and I wanted something up. I wanted to have some sort of impact, I guess, even a little one.
Yeah. So was there a time before were you doing other people's works exclusively that you were podficking before you ended up doing your own?
Yeah, because at the time I hadn't written much of anything. I think except for a Star Wars fic.
Okay.
And I started podficking my own stuff a couple years later.
So when you want to podfic something, what sparks your interest in doing it? What is it about the story that you read that's I want to podfic this?
Usually it's the prose, I think. There's a lot of fic out there that I read and I'm like, oh, this would feel really good to say. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to bring those words into the audio world and make them different somehow.
Yeah. What was the reaction when you first posted? Was it crickets? Because I know it's hard with podfics. They just don't get the same, I don't know, engagement, I think, as much. Or was it everybody really liked your first one?
Oh, it was crickets, which is fair because it's bad. I'm not embarrassed of that or anything. I genuinely, I had no idea what I was doing. In a lot of ways, I still don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't. The only ones that got attention were Harry Potter ones before, someone went off to Turf Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that was a nice time before that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And partially it was also that I do tend to just sort of go towards more obscure things, obscure podfics, obscure ships and stuff. So I'm expecting not to get a lot of attention usually.
Because it's already kind of on the rare side to begin with. Or if it's not the tippy top of the main ships, or pairs that go, you're usually just not going to get the same amount of engagement no matter what. You'll go get the tried and true that love, the same ship or the same themes that you're exploring. But yeah, it's just not going to hit that magic mark of whatever that is. So this is for me and any other podfickers that are listening, because I'm just all about what equipment did you use when you started? What do you use now?
Talk shop. Kasey will shut up.
How did you record your first one?
I believe if I didn't just buy the first microphone I found online, I probably borrowed one of my mom's microphones.
Okay.
Because she has a whole thing. She's a poet. She does her own readings of stuff,
lovely.
her poetry.
Aww.
So yeah. So I was just some random microphone. I think at some point during that early podficking time, I also built a box, a cardboard box with sheets on the inside of it to work as sound muffling. It didn't work very well, but I tried.
Yeah.
And it's not much better than my current setup, so I can't judge.
So what is your setup like now?
Well, I am currently in a closet surrounded by pillows.
Yay!
And my microphone is propped up on 2 cardboard boxes and the Gravity Falls Book of Bill. So
Closet supremacy, people. Closet supremacy. Closets are the way to begin your podficking journey.
Well, yeah, it's all of the soft stuff that, ends up it absorbs all of the, the harshness and stuff like that. Do you have a, what kind of mic do you use now?
I think right now it's a blue snowball.
Okay.
Popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems to be a popular one that a lot of people use. Yeah. Yeah.
Popular and affordable.
Yeah, and
which
affordable.
Is very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is always important. We stand affordable tech.
Yes. And then recording, your audio software. What do you use for that?
I am Audacity only.
Yay.
We love Audacity.
Yeah. Yeah. I've tried, man. I tried what was it? Adobe Audition for like a week. I was like, no, thank you. It was like, I was like, this is too confusing. I'm just going to go back to Audacity. I know it. I understand it. Yeah, I found that to be something. And I remember way back, like when it was like mid 2000s, I think, when I first learned of Audacity. And I was like, and then when I started podficking, I was like, I know there's software out there that I can get for free. What the heck is it called? And I looked it up. I was like, there it is. There's my buddy Audacity. Thank you. Thank you for still being there.
Coincidentally, Audacity is what I have been using for years and years and years to clip songs for use for ringtones and text messages.
That's what I was using it for too way back then. Yeah. And it's just, I just like it.
How times have changed.
Yeah.
I still use it for that. So
yeah, I do. To be fair, I do.
What are you hardest on yourself about? Like when it does come to podfics?
I think I'm never quite satisfied with like how much I've edited something down. I'm still, when I listen through, I'm like, that sounds a little too loud, or there's like a pop in there that I didn't catch. Or, the worst thing of all, I said that line twice and I didn't catch it despite listening through this about 6 times.
Yeah. I get that. There's like a podfic that I really like to listen to that I did. And I'm just like, every time a moment comes up, I'm like, oh God, oh, here it comes. And I'm just like, do I really want to go back and fix it? And I'm like, at some point I will, but it's just, what it takes you're not going to get the sound exactly right. Like, even if you do it in the same place, it's just like, there's always going to be you're going to hear the difference that no one else is going to hear too. So I totally get that. What do you feel like
weird?
Yeah. What do you feel like you excel at when it comes to narrating?
I like to think that I'm good at like reading a lot of things without messing up, which makes it easier on me when I'm editing. And it does sort of make it flow better, I think, if you do it all in one take, as it were, rather than cutting in.
How do you do your edits? Do you have a clicky, or do you just kind of like go back and listen? Do you like read through it again and again and you don't stop? Is that how you do it?
I do one read through, sometimes, cut up into parts if the fic is really long. And then once I have all of the stuff recorded, then I go through and I edit that like the first time, getting rid of like background noise, and then trying to get the audio levels right. And then going through very slowly through every single line to remove all the clicking and stuff, which is probably not the most, the easiest and fastest way to do it, but it is the way I do it.
Right. Yeah, when you have a method and it works for you, it's like, no, I'm going to stick with this.
We don't mess with things. We're like, it works. I don't know why it works, but we're going to leave it the fuck alone. Yep.
I wasn't going to do anything with those 6 hours anyway. Who cares?
Do you do like a recording day and then do you do like an edit day, or do you find that you work on one project like all at the same time, or how does that go for you?
What is your process?
Yes, I try not to say that word too much, but it comes out. So
because I'm a fucking child.
So it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes when I'm, sometimes I'll have like a bunch of little drabbles that I do all of them at once, and then I edit them all at once, because I just like having things that I can post that I can feel like I've done something this week. And when it's longer stuff, it's just recording. And then when I get to the end, I can finally edit it all together.
Okay. So do you like I guess the posting, because it seems like you post often. So is it just like you said, like post as much as I can, like get that out?
It's for writing and for podfic. It's always posting is always like 1/2 inspiration, 1/2 compulsion.
Yeah,
I just gotta make something. I've always got to make something. I've always got to keep making things.
I think that's our problem too, Kasey. I think that's our problem too, especially with this podcast. It's like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going and doing.
But we're having fun, and that's
having fun.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you're having like, as much as you're like maybe driving yourself crazy about the little pops and things like that, like you're enjoying it, which is important.
I'm never unhappy with what I'm beyond like the usual angst of the writer of podficer of like, oh, nothing I post will ever be good and all that, the normal things you deal with when it's late at night.
Imposter syndrome.
But I'm never unhappy with what I make. I like making it and I like posting it.
Good. That's excellent. I feel like you might have cracked the code. I feel like that's it. If you can get to a place where you can say, I'm not unhappy with anything that I do, I feel like you've nailed it. That's the sweet spot.
Do you have any favorite, like, because you have so much time, free time, do you have any like favorite podficcers that you like to listen to, or do you just really just don't have time to do a lot of that?
I have been meaning to listen to a lot more podfics and while I'm making them, because I want to be more involved in like the community and do stuff.
Yeah.
But the one I can think of right now is, I know Eos Rose has a lot of really good Samafor podfics, and I'm very jealous of their enunciation because they make everything so clearly said.
Okay.
And I'm not good at that.
What is their name again?
Eos Rose.
Okay. I think I think that was one of the ones I had.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of podfics, I think.
Then do you have a podfic of your own that you're particularly proud of? If you can pick one.
I think.
What's your favorite child?
I think it's always like the latest one you've posted, it's always which right now is like week 1 by Chiaroscuro was very good. But other than that, there was Now Inside This Place We Hide Away by someone that I cannot remember the name of.
Okay.
Which was a Lucifer Sam fic.
Okay.
Like a very, very early Lucifer Sam fic that I think was like written during season 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, very speculative, but I found it very interesting for how it tried to work in what we knew about demons, what little we knew about Lucifer, tried to construct a relationship between him and Sam.
Without much to go on. Like, they didn't have anything, right? Like at that point, that's very interesting. Is that a long fic or was it a little bit shorter?
I believe it's about it was between 10 and 20 minutes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for you, and again, this is just like a podficker question, like how many words can you typically, like if you're gonna say the finished product is like an hour, how many words does it end up usually being for you?
I find an hour podfic is usually around maybe 4,000 to 5,000 words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned this in the email, and I don't know if this is still happening from a couple months back, but when we were scheduling everything, you said you might be undertaking a major podfic project. Is that still happening?
It's happening very slowly.
Okay. Can we get any details?
Project.
Yeah.
Sneak peek.
So Chiaroscuro, that's it. My friend Sin has a series on AO3 called The Faceless, which is about Adam and Nick after season 5, where it's an alternate universe where they both survived being vessels and are just having to live together after all of that. Very traumatized and sad. It is genuinely one of my favorite supernatural series of fanfictions of all time.
Okay.
To the point of like, I can be like, this series is the reason why I started transitioning,
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked Sin, hey, can I make podfics of this? This is very good. It will take me forever, but I really want to do it. And they gave me permission. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are you just going to be releasing them as you do them, or are you kind of going to wait? Because what are we talking about with this series? How
it is about 60,000 words long, which is the longest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the longest thing I've ever read is like 20,000 words long.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I posted that or if I kept it for myself, but.
Yeah. So is the goal like just like almost like a serial format where you like post them out like as you get them done? Are you going to pick and choose where you go, or are you doing it sort of like linear in the way that the series was released?
I'm going to try and go through all of them in order.
Okay.
And do as much as I can. I'm hoping that I will finish all of them. I don't know if I will, but I will try.
Oh, nice.
Sounds so fucking cool, though.
That sounds great. And because like you said, it means so much to you to, and then to be able to like give that back to other people as well. I think that's great. We're crossing fingers whenever you it'll get done when it gets done, right? So as long as you're working on it, that's your goal.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I'm in the process of recording the second one, so it'll get finished eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So
And just because
cool.
when I was reading your your AO3 profile, you wrote down that objectively this is the best color. So I just had to do like a little screenshot. I had to find out what objectively the best color was. Nobody else will see this, but why is that objectively the best color?
I
mean,
think
it's a lovely color.
Yeah.
I think I was writing my profile. I was like, what do people put in profiles online? Their favorite color? And I was like, all right, I'll just put down that my favorite color is purple. And then as I was finishing writing it, I was like, no, they're not going to know what purple it is. They're going to think it's the kind of purple that they like. I need to make sure that they know what purple I like. So I picked the hex code.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this is really interesting. We might be about to get into some beef here, but that's clearly blue.
What?
It does sort of look blue on my monitor now, but I swear to God, it looked more purple. Like looking back at it.
Maybe
I'm just
it's
gonna pull
on
up that hex code on a different screen.
So maybe it's on the cooler end, so that might be why it's a little bit bluer, maybe? Because
maybe I just have a new form of color blindness.
To me, it feels like it looks like almost like a royal kind of purple, but I could be off by like, how I would describe it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, see when I put it up on my iPad screen, yeah, that's like a royal purple. Then that's a really pretty purple color. But on Google Docs, on my computer, that's a blue color. So I was like, yeah, no, objectively, as purples go, that is a peak purple color. I'm fucking with you there, Bug, 100%. That's a good purple. I enjoy that.
And if anyone's interested, the hex code is 37057F, in case you want to look. And
F for foxtrot.
F for
S
fox.
for sugar.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm just very lucky that I didn't take that time to choose like a Homestuck hex code or something, because I probably would have.
Oh goodness. Well, we've got a couple questions from one of our Discord members. Again, Crowley's mistress.
Mm-hmm.
She loves you. So she was like, let them know I love their work. I am a subscriber and amazed at the amount of work they produce. I admit I only listen to the SPN stuff, and usually it's a binge listen, which brings me to my first question. A podfic is harder to consume and produce than a story. What is it about this medium that resonates with you in such a way that it is your way?
That is an excellent question, by the way. It's not even directed at me, and I'm like, wow, that's great. Sorry, go.
It's very nice. I think of podficking and audio sort of transformation of work is like, it's a very important part of experiencing a work. To me, it does change how you experience it, and in a way that like every person who podfics something, and it's why I love listening to repods of stuff. Everyone has a different take on like how this was said or how this was emphasized, and I like adding to that. I like being able to show how I experienced a fic through reading it, or how I experienced writing it through reading it. I don't think of like anything that I've podfic that I've written as like the definitive podfic of it. It's just like how I experienced it as the writer, which is maybe different if someone else podfics it.
So like repods, have you had people like redo a podfic you've done? How's that gone? Does that happen a lot? I don't know if I see that a lot.
I've done repods. I don't think anyone's repotted anything I've made.
Okay.
But I've done repods of other people's stuff.
Okay.
Usually because I'll listen to a podfic and I'll be like, this fic is fantastic, and you seem to have a lot of fun reading it, and now I wanna.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, it's like you want to join in. You want to join in and see what you can do. That's great.
Yeah. And like if it ever happened to one of my podfics, I would be extremely flattered.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Do you feel like? I mean, go ahead.
Just for clarity for those of us who are uninitiated,
Sorry.
a repod is like someone does your podfic again. Like a re-recording of it in their style.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I thought that's what it was, but I was like, I might be being hella stupid. I'm just gonna check.
Yeah, and I always wonder. I don't know. It feels like that. Like, is there some sort of etiquette to that? But what I like about your profile, Bug, is that you have a blanket permission on all of your stuff. Can you explain like what a blanket permission is?
Yeah. So blanket permission is basically giving out what permission you give for transformative works of your stuff. So for me, mine's just like flat out blanket permission for like translating, podficking, making sequels or spin-offs or anything you want from my work, because I just like seeing things made that I inspired. But other people specify like, hey, I only want podfics made, or I only want translations made. And then that people put that in like their profile in AO3 or in the author's note of fics, or just use the tag like blanket permission on the fics to announce that.
Because that makes it so much easier, right? Like if somebody wants to just redo, like, or just gets inspired, like you said.
I believe there's a tool, like a plugin for Firefox now, that uses a website that has all of the blanket permission authors on AO3 compiled, so that you can see who has blanket permission and who doesn't, and it's very useful.
I think
Sandra uses that.
Yeah, I think our the podficker that we talked to, Cookie Mom, I think she talked about that, and I think that's something that I've like been playing around with a little bit too. It does help. It does help a lot. Crowley Mistress's next question, and I think I might have jumped the gun on this, but you can answer again. I get notifications almost every day. Do you produce every day, or produce in mass and release day by day? And I like this in parentheses. They have a lot of video game ones, and I imagine them, idea, pause game, off to record, and back to game. Probably not that easy, but headcanon.
that is genuinely how I, like for podfics. Podfics take like a little more preparation, because I have to go get into the closet and hook everything up. But like for writing, I have definitely been in the middle of a game and been like, I need to stop, and there's some lesbians I need to write about right now. Like I was playing BioShock last week, and I paused the game and I didn't come back to it for like 4 hours because I needed to write about it. So,
that's great.
Which BioShock game was it, by the way?
It was the first BioShock. Which isn't the best BioShock, because the second one's the best, but I commit crimes every time I say that. No one ever likes it.
See, now I own all of the BioShock games, and I got into BioShock 1, and I was into it. I was playing it. I was having a good time, and my PC went, "The fuck you are," and crashed. And I lost like 2 hours of save data, and then I've never gone back to it, because I was so unbelievably mad about that, because I was really into it. Like I'm hella behind the times. It'd been out for like a decade by that point, but I was really into it. I was like, I'm going to save Rapture. It's going to be so good. I'm finally going to understand all the memes about the ending. And then it crashed. And I was like, well, I don't even want to look at it anymore. I don't want to. So, but I mean, I get all of my gaming news from Yahtzee Croshaw, formerly of The Escapist, currently of Second Wind. And he said the BioShock 2 was naff. So he's played it. I haven't, but why is BioShock 2 better than BioShock 1? Sandra's like, write down timestamp.
No, I like it when you do these. Go, it's fine.
Yeah, my BioShock opinions, they must be heard. I want to know. There's a lot of people who point out like there are parts of BioShock 2 that are like sort of feel unfinished, but I feel like for what it is, which is like was not an official sequel, it was sort of an intermediate game. Between that and BioShock Infinite, made by a completely different team with a completely different writer, it is astonishing that game comes together as well as it does and manages to improve so much on the actual experience of playing BioShock 1. I'm just talking about this. Completely different podcast. But yeah, and also I think the story builds into the themes of BioShock of like, this is relevant to Supernatural, of fatherhood, and what do we owe to our children? What world are we leaving to them? And how do we raise them? I think BioShock 2 handles that theme maybe better than BioShock 1 does, but it does have that basis to work off of. So,
Yeah.
And it's better than BioShock Infinite, because BioShock Infinite is bad.
Oh, look at you out here with the controversial opinions, man.
I can say that. I love that game. It's just bad.
You can say that. This is a safe space, and we judge and no, we listen and we don't judge. I was gonna say we judge and we don't listen. No, we listen and we don't judge. And like I said, I have only played the first few hours of BioShock 1, so I have zero skin in this game. But yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Which two characters were the lesbians that you needed to write about, though? Just in case I have like osmosis information about them.
I love my evil scientist women, so I had to write a fic about Bridget Tenenbaum and the character, the evil scientist woman from Infinite, who's not evil, but mad scientist, Rosalind Lutece. They never meet ever in canon or interact, but I think they would work well.
That's not important. That's not important. Yeah, that's cool. And I do at least know who Tenenbaum is. Do you have any feelings on the Mass Effect games?
Many.
Yes, Sandra, you can join in on this one. Mass Effect. Talk to me.
That's just because you helped me pick one that I had to podfic.
Yes, but this is important because has it been released yet, Sandra?
Not yet. No, but by the time this comes out, it'll have been released. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sandra did a podfic. Sandra usually only podfics within the Supernatural fandom, but she did a Shepherd Vicarian fic.
Yes.
Which is
Sorry.
Let's talk about why Garrus is the best companion. And if you disagree, come at me, bro. It's not fucking Caden. I'll tell you that for no. And the fact that there isn't a mod that lets you romance Garrus in Mass Effect 1 is a fucking crime, because I looked when the anniversary edition came out and EA fleeced me for an not insubstantial amount of money, despite the fact that I owned all the Mass Effect games on the Xbox. I was too much hard work, and they fleeced me for all of the fucking money. And then I was like, well, I'm going to mod this because, Mass Effect 2's combat is unplayable, so we won't get into that. And there's nothing. There's nothing. And I just think that's fucking tragic.
See, I'm mad. I'm mad about a different romance. I think they had lines recorded. They had something put together that you could romance Tali in Mass Effect 2 as female Shepard. And there's still parts of the game that are left in there that's like suggesting you can do that. And they just, I guess a remaster isn't good enough reason to dig those up and fix that. Whatever, it's fine. I don't care.
Oh, that's so rude. See, that's another thing as well. I like playing bro Shepard because I again also rampantly trans. So if I have the opportunity to play a dude, I will do. And then you can't romance Garrus. So I'm like, all right, I have to walk around with a pair of tits that I don't want just so I can fuck the alien that I want to fuck. Really? No? Really? No, I don't think so. And I have to have a stupid voice, and everyone says me, and I hate it. Let me bone Garrus as the man I need to bone him. That is, yes, I'm really deep into that. I have a lot of feelings about Garrus and Shepard. So many. And I finished Mass Effect 3 for the first time just a couple of years ago now. Because Mass Effect 2's combat is unplayable. So I only finished it when I'd got the anniversary edition and I could mod the combat to be slightly less awful.
It shows its age. I am someone who likes the sort of jank. I was raised on the Wii, so all my games were jank on the Wii. So I like when combat is weird and shows its age, and it's like, you didn't know what you were doing, but neither did anyone else at the time, really. You were all just doing what Call of Duty did.
Yeah. Well, I think at the time I was still like pretty married to my controller, even though I was playing on the PC. And I think if I'd played with a keyboard and mouse, it might have been a bit different. But I was like, no, I want a controller because I don't like change. So I'd never got through Mass Effect 2 on the Xbox. So I got to Mass Effect 3, and I was texting my buddy who has played through them lots and lots of times, and she's also a Garrus stan. And I was like, I've when you're ready to go in the final battle, and you talk to Garrus, and he's like, no Vicarian without Shepard. And I was like, oh my god, I love him. And then spoiler alert, you die. And you never see him again. And I'm texting my buddy like, what the fuck?
You don't have to die. You just have to be okay with sacrificing all your robot friends, which is a normal way to end the game about how we shouldn't sacrifice our robot friends.
Well, the thing was, I don't think I necessarily picked the ending that I wanted to pick. I think I went down the wrong corridor. But that's not
it's very confusing to do.
It is not clear. It is not clear.
It's not a good ending.
It is not clear. But I was genuinely like in fucking bits texting my buddy like, we declared our love for each other and then I died.
We should have known. And once you declare love, it's like it's hard. It's hard.
No, but it's not. It's a love born of 3 different games. Like you can't romance Garrus in the first game, but you get really close with him. And then like you can romance him in the second one, and then the romance continues in the third one. And it's like this overarching like 3 game, and they're not little games, they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
And it's
like 80 hours a game or something if you're doing it 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you get that and the final, and it's in like war-torn London as well. It's on like war-torn Earth. And you've been in jail for years. Like enormous Mass Effect spoilers, I'm sorry. You got arrested at the end of the last game. Yeah, if you haven't played Mass Effect, I kind of feel like you should not follow at this point. But like you got arrested and you've been in like Earth prison for like fucking ages, and you were like separated from Garrus and the rest of the crew, and then like the big bad aliens attack on Earth, and it's like this whole thing, and you're like fighting in like war-torn cities on Earth, and it's so goddamn emotional. And the last time you see Garrus is like in this like it's just like fucking bombed out like command center. It's just absolutely fucked, and he's like, no Vicarian without Shepard, no Shepard without Vicarian. And I was like, oh my god, I love him. And then I died. And frankly, I will never get over that. We'll never recover. But yes, Sandra did record Garrus Vicarian. Vicarian Shepard fic.
Yeah.
And it was with a male to female Shepard as well. It wasn't explicit, it was just like alluded to.
It was them figuring out how they would do the thing. It's kind of a thing. And yeah, I had no clue, but I did the summer podfic summer swap thing, and I had gotten a request, and I was like, Kasey, help. I don't know where I should go. And because I know they love Mass Effect, I was like, can you help me find a fic that you think, I could plausibly do that wouldn't be a really long one? And they came through, and they're like, here's a couple. And I mean, this was like an 11-year-old fic. I was like, what are the chances I'm going to be able to get a hold of this person? And I found them on Tumblr, and I just asked out of the blue. And they were like, sure, sounds great. Just let me know when you're done and send me a link. I'd love to hear it. So I was like, yay. So it all worked out the way that it did. So I'm just going to throw it out there, see who responds first. And yeah, so it was fun. It was fun to add like effects to his voice and stuff to kind of make it sound, like
so
him.
Fucking good.
So it was fun. It was a fun little attempt to do. So yeah, I was like, okay, I know the best person to ask, Kasey. Please help me find.
I don't know what gave you the idea that I know anything about Mass Effect.
Well, you told me so many, I think you even had like a discussion with BJ about this way back, and I was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. You were like giving me all like it's video games, and I was like, okay, great. And he seems he had a lot of Dean tendencies to me, so I was like, I can get with this character. I feel like this is a dude I can work with. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do.
So you got to be on the lookout for when it comes out, because the editing is beautiful.
It was fun.
So good.
I have one more question from Crowley's Mistress that I think.
Sorry, yeah, I will shut the fuck up about video games.
No. I love that. But I feel like I asked part of this, but there's a tail end towards the end that I think is interesting. So she asked, most is your own work, but some is other people's. How do you select fics from other authors that you're going to read? Like Chero Obscuro recently. Is it you read it and like it and reach out to them, or they reach out to you? Or are they your friends and already collaborating?
So most of the stuff I've posted, if it isn't mine, is stuff that I find by looking either for the blanket permission tag or like searching who have I bookmarked that gives blanket permission on their profile. Because I don't like asking things because I get anxious and I just want to make the thing, put it out there, and then be like, I really liked your stuff. Here's my version of it here. Bye. But yeah.
Was there one thing in particular? I mean, aside from the one that I think you just recently said you asked for, was there another one you really, really wanted to do? They didn't have blanket permission, and you did get up you were like, I'm going to ask.
I don't think I've ever posted any. I've obviously recorded them for myself and been like, all right, at some point I'm going to ask if I can post these or something online. Because I do make a lot of podfics for myself just for like practice or for like fics I like to read, but I want to be able to like do that while I'm baking or playing video games or doing something else. So,
do you use them to fall asleep too?
Also that, yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. They're fun. They're fun to do that way. And Crowley's Mistress just said thanks again, that they do appreciate. But yeah, so collaborating, I'm guessing too, is just something that you don't do often, or have you ever done a collaboration?
I think pretty much it's just been the Fix That Sin gave me permission to podfic. I'd like to do it in the future, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe get involved in like events and stuff, but you know.
Are you in any like Discord podfic groups?
I'm technically in like there's like a big podfic Discord that I'm technically in, but like 90% of Discords I'm in, I'm never actually in it or talking to anyone. I'm bad at that.
No, I get it. I'm pretty much a lurker too, and a lot like Kasey likes to tease that I'm kind of like a lurker in our own server. Like, you know, I just post what I need to post. Occasionally,
Lurking is a valid identity.
Yeah, absolutely. Kasey has some more questions for you before we wrap up.
I do. I have the most excellent questions. These are not video game related, though, unfortunately. Although I could sit and talk to you about video games. Since you like Mass Effect, I'm like, do you like Knights of the Old Republic? But I'll keep you here forever. So I'm like, you got shit to do. We got shit to do. We can't do that. But if you'd like to share, and you know, like if you don't want to, it's totally fine. How did you come up with your username? So I'm like, obviously, I'm specifically talking about TheQuietWings on AO3 here. How did that happen?
I am like 80% sure it was just something that sounded cool and edgy when I was 12 and just happened to be like, yes, it is that, but it's also not cringe later on. It still sounds, you know, moderately cool.
I love that so much. You just reminded me of what my first like fandom username was. And it was nowhere near as cool as that. It was absolute peak edge and just cringy. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Look at you forward thinking as a young teen with a username that will span the ages. I love that so much. Alrighty, last question. And again, this is nothing to do with supernatural, fandom, video games, anything. But adults don't ask other adults this question enough, and I am on a one mortal mission to change that. So, Bug, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, the Maiasaura.
The what now?
It's
this has never happened.
No, I have an answer prepared for this all the time. It is an herbivore found in Montana in the United States back in the 70s, I think. And its name means good mother dinosaur because it was the first dinosaur we discovered alongside evidence of eggshells and juvenile Maiasaura. It was the first dinosaur we found that we could confirm these were animals that raised their young and took care of them, which I love because they're also adorable. But I love them. I love that because when we think of dinosaurs and just reptiles in general, there's this idea of like they're sort of heartless, cold, unfeeling creatures, which is worse for the carnivores, but like the herbivores get it too, where they're just sort of dumbed down into just not feel. And it's wrong to anthropomorphize them, obviously, because they're animals. They're working off of instinct, but there is like they're animals who take care of their young, who in a way that we might not understand as humans, but that they do understand. They do love their little baby dinosaurs. And that's important to me. I like that.
That is so awesome. Do you know, in all the episodes I've asked that question, and I've been asking that question a lot, nobody has ever come up with a dinosaur that I didn't know. So fucking gold star for you.
Way to
Put
go,
that on your
Bug.
resume.
Way to go.
That is excellent. Oh my god, I saw Mama Dinosaur. I love that so much.
Are you gonna like in your table? Are you gonna like make sure you link to like the picture, Kasey, that you found of it and like the information?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's adorable.
I don't think I've heard of that one at all.
Oh, it's super fucking cute.
Cute.
And also, I really wish that more people would get off that, oh, reptiles just don't even care. Because a lot of reptiles do at least guard their nests. Even if they don't parent their young the way we understand it, they guard their nests.
Yeah, I grew up, in down south where there's alligators basically everywhere. So I've loved them for a really long time. And one of the core features of alligators and animals related to alligators is that they are highly social, complex creatures. And a lot of that has to do with the raising of their young, which is so important to me when they're usually just seen as like monsters in the water, you know? I love them.
I have a lot of time for crocodilians of all varieties. Because I'm like, oh my god, look at it though. Look at it. Because it's just, that is what peak performance looks like. And I'm just a huge fan of peak performance being sit down, stay still, only run to food, but that's it. Just mostly just loaf. And I like that speaks to me on a very primal level. Oh, that's so great. I'm gonna go research everything I can find out about this dinosaur now. Thank you so much. I love a project.
Oh goodness.
Bred my dinosaurs.
Bug, this was great. We really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for taking the time. I have like a wrap-up question for you before we let you go, but
this has been delightful. So
okay, good. I'm glad you liked it. I think before
you should repod. You should repod, because normally you do a narration and you'd like, I'm just giving Sandra more work here at this point. Repod one of Bug's podfics.
I could try. Yeah. I mean, there's been a few. I really liked the it was Crowley and Dean and which hellhound was it in the car? I just thought it was so short. But it was
which one?
Was it It wasn't Juliet, right? Was it a different?
I think it's Juliet. Yeah.
Juliet.
I think Juliet might be the only one that gets a name.
Yeah. It was like domesticity.
It's Growly is the name of his hellhound, like before Juliet, that's never named in the show. And it was just like named it as a joke at the con, and then Juliet's the one named in the show. Gotcha.
Oh. Yeah, I really liked that one. I thought that one was it was very quirky. I just like, yes, this is what their life would be like. But no, I think one of the questions that we like to ask our creators before we say goodbye is if there's another person out there who's thinking about, maybe they're thinking about podficking, or maybe they've been podficking silently and just only for themselves, what advice would you give them to just actually do the thing and release it out into the wild if they're a little shy or just uncertain?
I think a lot of worry I see sometimes in like posting stuff online is like, what if it doesn't get attention? What if no one sees it? And what I'd say is like, if put yourself in a room, if like even one or two people enjoy your thing, that's two people. Like that's a lot more than
nobody.
I don't know how to explain it. That's a lot more than nobody, but that's still two people's lives that you've made better. And if that number gets better, even if you don't get like the kudos or like the comments or anything, you've still made something that people are going to enjoy, and it's going to be on as long as AO3 is out there. Hopefully people will continue to be able to enjoy it in the future. I think that's important to not think about like how much stuff am I going to get in response, but like what's the quality of what I'm going to get, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like quality over the quantity, right? Like if because I mean, Kasey's talked about this too. A lot of their works that they've released, have had a really big effect on, a reader. And when getting that back, knowing that you make somebody's life a little bit better, or they just, they resonate, or it's just like a comfort, right? Like to know that they know, they know your stuff when it comes out is going to be great and just what they want. Like you're not going to fit, like a square peg in a round hole all the time. You don't have to. Who's to say that has to be the thing? It's just what you get back from someone, because you don't get that at all if you just keep it to yourself. And some people are good with that, and that's great. But like, I feel like us posting, we post for a reason, right? Like we want to get some engagement or see that someone's been affected by it in some way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was great. I hope you had a good time. We really enjoyed talking to you.
Yes.
And I look forward to, I mean, it's the Faceless, right? Is that what you said you're currently like working on? I will definitely go back and read that listen to that first part that you did, because I think that sounds really great. So good luck with that one.
Everyone should read all of Sin's work forever. It is fantastic.
Okay. All right. We're going to plug it.
If you could email over a link, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, that would be great. That would be great. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Good luck. Any more baking?
Enjoy your baking.
On the docket? Yeah. More baking to do?
Oh, I took cookies out of the fridge cookie dough out of the fridge earlier, so I've got to go bake that now.
Okay. All right.
Oh no, what a chore.
What a chore.
Oh.
Yeah, how difficult.
A house that smells of baking cookies. That was the awful.
Yeah. But thank you. We really appreciate you taking time and talking to us today. Feel free to exit out if you need me to exit you out. I won't report you to Zoom, but just have a great rest of the day. And we do appreciate your time. And thank you for all that you've done for Supernatural and podficking in general. You are a beacon for the rest of us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was very nice.
Good. Good.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of the day and afternoon and weekend and all that good stuff.
All
right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. That was great.
I really liked that.
I loved that.
I think I'm trying to think too if it was, I know I'd had them on my radar to ask for a while, but it might have even been like when Crowley's mistress was like, yes, I'm so glad you're going to have them on. I was like, yeah, because like I said, even if it's not always like something I would gravitate towards, to know that, like Bug said, you're putting something out there that someone really enjoys. That's important. And that makes all the difference, especially if you're not writing for, or if what you tend to like to write doesn't fit into those big boxes of like, that people tend to find first or foremost when they get into fanfic. And I think the journey of exploring what you like in fandom and fan fiction, I mean, I think Bug is a good representation of that too, right? And like all of the writing that they've done before it got even released, or like some stuff is still like not even like shared.
I think that really stood out to me. I love that, because we are huge champions of you write for yourself first. Like write what you want to read, write for yourself. And if once you put it out on the internet, if you get you get the praise and you get the validation, and that feels great. But if you're not writing for yourself first and foremost, then you're gonna struggle. So the idea of just podficking, like writing fics just for yourself, podficking just for yourself, never to release it, just for the joy of creating it, I think is so wonderful. And I think that really embodies like the message that we try and promote here of doing for yourself first and foremost. So I absolutely love that. I love that so much. That's great. I also have a fair few Sam-based things to think on as well. And I love Sam-based things to think on. And bitches love things to research. It's me and bitches. I have a new dinosaur to look up now, that's never for like, I genuinely sat back in my chair like a fucking what now? But this has never happened to me before.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got a surprise at the end, that you get to find more shiny things. And yes, more shiny things to find. No, we really do appreciate Bug coming on, and thanks to Crowley's mistress for the questions. But yeah, we're probably going to wrap up. We've got another episode to record.
We're very busy people, guys. It's a problem.
We're very busy, but we want to thank Bug, and we want to thank you for listening, and let us know what you thought of the episode. You can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. You can comment on Spotify in the Q&A section, leave a YouTube comment, join our Discord and chat with fellow idlers and us in real time. Check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlingintheimpala.com. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider joining us on Ko-fi. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers, and would love to have you along for the ride.
Speaking of perks, we've got special shout outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From our Shotgun Picks the Music tier, we've got Runaway Dreamer, Crowley's Mistress, Sam and Dean 76, Elia, Charlie, and Just Whispering Fantasies. Thank you for picking the tunes in the car. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Thank you. Don't forget, you can always support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithms. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So from me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And of course, the main causes that we are always highlighting, championing, spotlighting are World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, what they mean to us, check out idlingintheimpala.com. There's a page there called Causes Cause with all the details. So with that, we will say a huge thank you to Bug for joining us. Thank you for joining us in the backseat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.